So, I have to be quiet because people are sleeping and it's 4:14 in the morning. So, I have to start making these videos and explaining my situation because I guess it's relevant to everybody that I share with, hopefully. My issue is, I just come to find out that I'm a polymath. Didn't know that. Kind of started with my art, and all of it's self-taught. So I started doing tattoos. I've been consistently tattooing over the years, for 15 years now. Self-taught in prison, actually. Unfortunately, it started there. And it started expanding into poetry and drawing on cloth, which I don't find many people doing. I've done my research into that because I use a pen and a pencil on a cloth, okay? And the reason why I do this is because a cloth is very white, a pen is very black, and a pencil is very gray. I know that's a very strange thing to say. Oh, look, it rhymed. Anyway, so you have a full spectrum of contrast when you do that. You have to the purest white, all the way through with all your grays into a black pen, which is the blackest you can get. And so that's what I use, and that is the reason why I use it. I think it's better that I explain these things because I can explain them, and I haven't explained them, and nobody really knows why I do things. I've been researching Benjamin Franklin, and I mean, a lot of great people, right? But the thing is that a lot of people will focus on what they've done and not how they've done it. And I think that that's very important. It's more important, actually, because then you can integrate the way they've done things, like how they've done it, into your life, because obviously you're not going to do what they did, right? Because they've already done it. But you can do what you do with how they did what they did. I guess that's about the best way I can put it. Anyway, so the very strange part about the situation, okay, which is even more of a problem, I guess, but I don't really look at things as problematic. I look at things as challenges, I guess you could say, a chance to overcome, a chance to, and also there's problem solving, critical thinking, strategy theory, things of that nature. I actually, when I was in prison, I got a book on game theory, and I looked through the book and I started scanning, and I'm like, dude, I already do this, you know, predicting people's behavior, using strategy to do it. And I scanned it and threw the book back in the library, and whatever. I'm not trying to be cocky or anything. It is what it is. Like, they're explaining something that I've already been doing. However, come to find out, that happens a lot when I read books. I'm like, I'm already doing that, and then I scan it and I'm like, yeah. Philosophy books as well. Books on ethics, Aristotle's Ethics. I'm reading it and I'm like, dude, this guy, I'm doing this. I don't need this book, so threw it back. And then so it expanded to my philosophy. Now that's the real deal, man. The Percepticon philosophy. It's based on Jeremy Bentham's Panopticon. He's an 18th century philosopher, English philosopher, and he built something called the Panopticon. It was actually built as a utilitarian building to basically keep a bunch of prisoners secluded, and to where they would think that they're being watched, and it would change their behavior. And there would be a tower in the center, and this person would be in the tower, and it would be one person that runs the prison. I don't want to get into it. It's a rotunda, cells, everybody's in segregation. Whatever, I've been in prison. I've been actually 16 years. I know all about these things. So who better to know it and describe it? It would be and to be certified in this philosophy than me, right? Fuck you, Jeremy Bentham, by the way. So I'm one person making a philosophy called the Percepticon. It's two words mixed together. It's perception and panopticon mixed together. And so I'm one person that started writing the philosophy in prison to set everyone free. You know, it's the big middle finger, man. Actually, I want to describe this too. I have a cross right here on my middle finger, and there's 3 dots. And then, this is actually my other middle finger, and so that's for both of them. That right there is a symbol that I created. I had a dream, and a voice asked me, what is the shape of the zeitgeist? The shape of a zeitgeist. That doesn't even make sense, does it? And I replied, tetrahedron, right? And so off of that, I put a circle around it, actually, kind of like an AA symbol, but the tetrahedron is basically a pyramid. So it's a 3-dimensional shape with 4 sides. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to come up with something else to go with it. And so the AA symbol has 2 A's. And so I was like, you know what? Tetra is 4. So I'll just come up with 4 A's. And then the A's, the actual shape of the A's, create basically triangle shapes. And there's 4 of them. And that itself creates the pyramid. Yeah, it's crazy, right? And so the 4 A's stand for awakened awareness actively amplified, right? And so I figured, well, this is the thing with creative people, right? They're very lonely. I just had to go and this is what has been keeping me up. This is why I'm up. So I had to go into Copilot and put to describe the loneliness of basically somebody with this kind of skill and talent and creativeness. And the thing about that is that not only is there's a disconnect, right? But because I've been in prison, because I've been homeless, because I've been a drug addict and an alcoholic and in poverty and all these wonderful things, I call it the stigma shopping list. Yeah, it's like, you know, I go with a shopping cart and I'm running through like this place that's got all this messed up stuff, and I'm like, yeah, let me get that. I want that. I want that. I'm gonna put it in my. It's a stigma shopping list, shopping cart, whatever. It's ridiculous. It's my comedy that I have. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought. This is ridiculous. So anyway, oh yeah. So insult to injury, right? So I'm basically a polymath, and I'm an INFJ, come to find out, and I'm left-handed. It's the trifecta, yeah, of loneliness. And so, and then I have my stigma shopping list. That rhymes. Maybe I'll make a poem about it. And so now I have to ask Copilot to like what should I do, you know? And so with my creative mind, together with Copilot, I believe that there is a solution for these things. I can use my ability. You know, I started watching things on Kim Kardashian, and I know it's crazy, right? But I go all across the board, man. I don't, you know, there's a reason why these people, right, are successful, okay? And, you know, I'm not putting myself up or anything like that. I'm just saying my creativeness and my ability to connect dots, all right? And come up with, there's 3 creative, I guess, concepts is bending, breaking, and blending. And so I utilize those concepts all the time and those methods. And so, how can I utilize that, right? And I don't want to be secluded, you know? I don't want to do what all the other polymaths do, you know, or all the other creative people. And they seclude themselves. So you know, with my creative mind, I say, okay, well, what's the solution? What can I utilize, right, to get this information out? You know, what do I have to do? And so I even have there's a trickster archetype. Actually, I made a playing card. It's a handmade playing card, and so it's like I kind of like activate these archetypes. It's very strange. My philosophy is based on the 12 divine human archetypes. And so I have a list of 12 people. I integrate each one per month. So when this philosophy comes out and people are like, oh, well, you talk a good game, Justin. Well, now I'm actually doing it. I'm writing it and I'm doing it at the same time. And then I have, at the end, I have practical application, right, for each divine human archetype that I've done. So I'm like the crash dummy, and we're gonna see what happens. Then I'll be done writing in July. Also, I'm utilizing the, I transcribed the 13 chapters of The Art of War as well. And so one of my first divine human archetypes is Miyamata Musashi. So I kind of combined Miyamata Musashi with The Art of War. And I'm an artist, right? So Art of War artist, Miyamata Musashi. He's he's a undefeated samurai, 60 wins, 0 losses. And so he's my first divine human archetype. I wanted to start with the warrior because I believe that you're going to have to be a warrior in order to get through this whole situation, right? And so it's good to start. Actually, he talks about starting at the foundation, building a foundation. And so I start with the warrior. I build the foundation with the warrior because a lot of the other divine human archetypes, I believe, were not necessarily warriors. And I believe if they were warriors, there would have been a different kind of outcome for their situation. And so I try to integrate all these things within my life, right? Because I've got Mount Everest. To climb Mount Everest is a joke, for me right now. The stigma shopping list is real. It's not a joke. And so I got out of prison 21 days ago with the clothes on my back, right? And all of society basically saying, this is not going to happen, and then anything that you're thinking about isn't going to happen. So I devised these unfathomable plans of business and getting this philosophy done in music. And I don't even rap. That's the crazy thing. So I'm trying to get an album out by July. I don't even have a microphone yet, right? Or headphones or anything. So I figured I'd prepare myself, right? So I write all like the best lyrics, right? And then I'm gonna teach myself how to rap, right? I could change my voice maybe a little bit. My voice is not really a rap voice. I've been doing a little bit of like listening, right? Listening to cadences and things of that nature with beats. So I do have a rhythm. I can actually play the drums naturally. And so, so I've got all these things, right? And then on top of that, right, if that's not enough, right, then I have inventions. So I'm inventing things. I mean, it's crazy. Like my mind just starts inventing shit immediately. And so I have 7 inventions so far. And so now I'm looking into law. Now I'm teaching myself law. I'm on chapter 22, trademark law. I'm having to look into, patents and things of that nature, and then come to find out if you get something patent, any kind of corporation or any kind of business, I guess, that uses your idea and it's patented, they have to pay you, I believe it's like a 6% royalty fee. So it's like, okay, so what are you gonna do, Justin? What the fuck are you gonna do about it? That's the question. And then on top of that, Martin Luther King Jr. is one of my divine human archetypes. And so he's an activist, right? So I got all this stuff, and then I think about, hey, Justin, you need to make a YouTube channel, right? And so I call it the Black Hat Reckoning, right? And it's based on Lee Van Cleef, right? There's an actual movie called Sabata, right? And so he's like this badass, right? He doesn't play, and then he makes all these like little inventions and stuff like that, and so people would think, oh, well, the Black Hat, yeah, I seen the movie The Black Hat or whatever, and it's some kind of like stuff with like hackers and things. No, this is a spaghetti western, all right? He's a hero, he's an archetype, and he creates little inventions and stuff like that, and he goes against the bad guys, right? And so I kind of utilize. Also, Lee Van Cleef actually played a villain, and so I kind of look like the villain, right? But I'm not the villain, And so I'm trying to create a new archetype, or I have created a new archetype, one that doesn't exist. It's like the good guy that looks bad, right? That uses the trickster for the good, you know? And then all kinds of, and this polymath. That's an archetype too, and I'm the idealist under INFJ. I think somebody's up. Listen, I gotta go. I've already explained enough. I'll make another video later.